That is quite interesting. I'll show you in a minute. But first of all, welcome back to the Off-Grid Garage in sunny hot Australia. We have 3 amps outside. It's not so sunny at the moment, right? Guys, thank you so much for hundreds of comments under my last video when I tested the welded studs, the welded terminals on the EVE LF304 and EVE LF280K batteries. This out of the way. And especially thank you for everyone sharing their experience with these welded terminals now. From what I have read in the comment section, there are no issues with these welded terminals at all, and they work just fine with the bus bars coming with the batteries. And nobody reported any hotspots, any hot bus bars, any issues, any problems at all. So thank you very much to everyone sharing their experience with that. That is always very helpful. I'm not feeling alone anymore. So some of you have suggested to take a big washer and put this across this ring here to actually extend the contact area between the terminal and the bus bar again. But I think this is not a good idea. Let me change the camera here. Yeah, quite a few guys have actually suggested to put a washer here in this area to fill up this gap here and to create a larger surface area to the actual bus bar then. But as you can see, this area here is very, very rough. And if we have a look how they actually weld these studs here onto the terminals, well, there is a short video on the Alibaba website as well, and you can see the process. So it looks like the actual battery cells are coming with the normal flat and threaded terminals, as we have seen them in the past. But then someone manually welds these studs on top of these terminals with a laser. And I think this laser is actually going around this area here. And as you can see, this area here is not flat. It has big scratches, marks, and it looks like there are leftovers or something from the welding process. It's clearly not a smooth and clean area. And of course, adding a copper washer here will also increase the resistance again, because we are simply adding another layer around this terminal here. And there are more points of connections, which means a higher resistance from the actual terminal down here to the bus bar sitting up here somewhere. Yeah, and why would you put a washer underneath the bus bar if it works like this just fine? I mean, we have pushed 230 amps in the last video through such a setup. Just the original bus bars on top of these welded terminals, 230 amps. There was no problem, no hotspot, no heating up. Cold as 5 cucumbers, no issues at all. So why should we change it? And another frequent comment under this last video was, well, the actual flange nut at the top here provides a fairly large contact area to the bus bar. And this is why we don't see any hotspots or heating up of the bus bar or connection here. While this is true, I don't believe there is much current going through the stud, going from the terminal, through the stud, into the nut, and then back onto the bus bar. I really believe this is less than 5%. And I want to show you why I think this is. Okay, so here you can see the battery here and our internal resistance meter. Let's have a look on the label here. It says the internal resistance of this battery is 0.21 milliohms, right? Okay, let's measure it. Let's take the positive probe here and put it on top of the stud. And on the other side, the negative one. There we go. We can see we've got 0.66 milliohm, right? That is 3 times as much as it states on the label. Second measurement is from the top ring, the polished ring, where the actual bus bar sits on and has contact to the terminal. On both sides again. And there we go, 0.21 milliohms. Exactly as it states on the label, right? So obviously this is the internal resistance they are measuring. And as you can see, we are adding another 0.45 milliohms when including the studs. So what we can do now is we can just measure one of the studs from the top to the bottom. And here you can see alone the threaded stud has 0.24 milliohms from the bottom to the top. And I'll do the same here. One probe on top of the stud and the other one on top of the polished terminal where the bus bar usually sits. 0.25 milliohms. This is just the threaded rod. And if we do the test again here and take the probe and come up a little bit, you can see the further I come up, the lower the resistance is. 0.07. And I'm almost all the way up here. There's nothing anymore. But if I go down again, you can see the resistance is increasing. So obviously these studs here, and I've shown you this before with the magnet. Look how strong the magnet is. It is very hard to take it actually off. That's how strong it is. So I don't believe these rods here are actually stainless steel, because even the stainless steel flange nuts are a tiny bit magnetic, as you can see here. They are, yeah, there we go. But they fall off very quickly, but they are a tiny bit magnetic. But this one here, yeah, very, very strong, very strong. And now if we take current out of this battery here, the current comes from the terminal underneath here and looks for the lowest resistance. And this is exactly this area here to the bus bar. This is exactly underneath here. And a very small amount will use the path of higher resistance as well, and actually flows the way you suggested in your comments. But because of the very high resistance, I think this is less than 5%. So 95% of the current will be coming directly from this ring terminal to the bus bar directly, without going through the stud and then taking the detour through the nut onto the bus bar again from the top. Yeah guys, let me know what you think. This is what I found. So I think we are really dealing only with these very tiny contact areas at the bottom. And because we are using 4 Newton meters on such a small contact area, we must have a very, very low resistance between this upper ring of the terminals and the actual bus bar. And this is why we don't see any hotspots, any heating problems at 230 amps. Okay guys, so far this little flashback from the last video here. We want to move forward now with our battery cells here. I have actually inspected all the battery cells and they are perfect. There's no scratch, no dent, no corners coming off, no oxidation in the safety valve here. The manufacturing is perfect. Well, apart from my smeary fingerprints on here, there's no swelling as far as I can tell. This is the same great quality and service from Shenzhen Qishou technology as I have received them before. So really there is nothing to complain about it. The only thing is, well, but this is totally out of their hand. I ordered these battery cells end of December 2021 and they arrived end of March down here. So it took 3 months with a ship to arrive actually here in Australia. Also, people have asked about prices for these batteries. Well, as I said, I ordered them back in December last year and I paid for them then. If you look on the website now, and if you get a quote from Qishou or other manufacturers now, you will see prices have increased by about 20 to even 30% I've seen. Prices are going through the roof at the moment. Demand for these batteries is so high and production is still not keeping up with them. And as I said before in some of my videos, I'm expecting actually prices will go up even further. Well, when I bought my first batteries here back in 2020 or something, that was like $59 per battery. And now we are looking at $130, $135 per battery. That is insane. They really need to make more of these ones. So these are the 2 battery banks which will go into our battery shelf. We've got a 304 ampere hour bank and a 280 ampere hour bank. The reason I ordered different ones was, well, as you know, I have 4 of the 304 ampere hour batteries already, which we have used for our testing and everything. And I wanted actually an additional 12 of these batteries to make a pack of 16 and then put this pack into the shelf and use it. Well, QSO told me they are not making, or they are not getting these batteries from EVE anymore. The design has now changed. As I have shown you in the previous video, the terminals are further to the corner now and we have now welded studs. So it would be a bit tricky to actually connect the old batteries, the old style batteries, they're not old, the old style batteries back to these newer ones. I would need to make some flexible bus bars or something. So I said, okay, then just send me 16 of them. This is all one delivery now, and I'll keep the other 4 ones for our testing here. We will do so much more testing with these batteries. I've got a fairly long list of tests actually to do. So yeah, after receiving all these batteries here, and inspecting them, there is no problem, no dents, no scratches, no condensation, no damage, nothing. The only thing I found is, well, if you look at the label, 3.29, 0.21, and this is exactly the same for the 280K series here. So both battery banks, or all the cells, have exactly the same sticker. So I'm not sure if they have actually matched them with internal resistance, or if they have just printed 32 of these labels here, stuck them on and sent them off to Andy in sunny hot Australia. Okay, let's measure very quickly the internal resistance of all these cells here. I'm not making a big deal out of it again, because we have shown this a couple of times here on the channel, so you know the drill. And, well, turn up the pitch. So probably roughly a third of these battery cells are matching the printed 0.21 milliohm internal resistance. All the other ones are having a slightly higher resistance. Only one of the batteries has a lower resistance than that. But all the labels are saying 0.21. So, and with the 280K cells here, none of the batteries has actually the internal resistance of 0.21 milliohms. All of the battery cells are having a lower resistance than actually stated. Well, should you be concerned about this? Absolutely not. Because as we know, internal resistance changes with temperature, state of charge, and also age of the battery. Even if the manufacturer or the supplier matches all your battery cells, this will be just a snapshot. This is just for this moment they are measuring. They're all matched. And I believe they all had this 0.21 milliohm internal resistance. But then after shipping, after delivering, temperature, humidity, state of charge, and of course age, the internal resistance will change. And it will constantly change during usage of this battery as well. All these promises of matched battery cells, I don't know what this is really worth. And of course the voltage mentioned on these labels is again just a snapshot for this moment. We know with these flat charge and discharge curves of lithium iron phosphate batteries, voltage cannot be used to judge state of charge. So these 3.29 volts here could be everything from 30 to 70%. Who knows? And it doesn't really matter because we are doing a full top balancing anyway. Well, we let actually the BMS do that. And this brings me to the next point of this video here, which was actually the main question of this video, the main purpose of this video. As you know, we have used the JK-BMS here with our battery bank, and I'm very, very happy with this BMS. And the 2 amp active balancer inside keeps my battery pack 100% balanced, top balanced all the time. And if we put these 2 battery banks into the shelf, what kind of BMS should we put on these batteries? Should I order another 2 of the JK-BMSs, put them on, and it just works? Or should we be more adventurous and buy some other BMSs and test them out? Well, here are the options. As you know, a while back, the first QUCC BMS with the flat relay. Here, it is still here in my garage actually. There it is. That is the relay which was always on, right? This was the original relay connected to this QUCC BMS here, so it was a flat relay and it all fit in this nice aluminium case here actually. And now I have replaced it with another relay here, and we have tested this BMS already and it works just fine. So another QUCC BMS would be an option, but honestly I think we have done enough testing with the QUCC BMSs. We know where the problems are, we know where the strengths are, and I just want to test something else. So I have actually received this package here a while back from a well-known company in China, And they actually contacted me and said, well, Andy, we want to send you some of our products to test and to show in your videos. And I said, hell yeah. Get the hint? Get the hint? Okay, let's see what we have here. So there's one BMS. So there's one BMS here from a company called HELTEC. That's the HELTEC Smart-BMS 25S, 200 amps, discharge current, Bluetooth and RS485 I told them I would like, so we can connect it to our Victron system and can read the information later down the track. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with any connection leads here, so I got back to them and said, well, have you forgotten these leads? And they asked me, haven't you got any of these? And I said, no. They usually come with a BMS, right? I mean, the QSCC BMS came with this 4-gauge wire here. The JK-BMS comes with this 7-gauge wire, 2 of them. And here, the DALI BMS in our box comes with connection cables. And I believe also the JK-BMS, yep, comes with connection cables. So I'm not sure. I told them, well, this is very unusual to receive a BMS without connection cables. So a bit surprised. But anyway, because they have sent me this BMS now here to test, well, let's test it, right? Let's test it. I know they have only a balance current of 130 milliamps, I believe. So this will be interesting to see how this performs at a top balance with these high capacity cells here. And it also comes with the balance cables here, of course. The Bluetooth. Yeah, that's the Bluetooth module with the antenna. The RS485 adapter cable, 2 temperature probes, and a display. Look at this, a display and a power button to turn it on and off. So I'm very keen to test this one and see what it actually shows. Maybe state of charge and voltages and everything like this. So yeah, I would really like to install this one on one of the batteries here. But what about the third bank? Well, I'm not 100% sure what I should do with the other battery then. I haven't ordered anything. I haven't made up my mind. I haven't thought about it actually at all. I thought you were giving me some suggestions what kind of BMS I should use for a 16S 280 or 304 ampere hour battery bank. So please leave your comment down below what kind of BMS I should get, but also state why I should get this. Why do you believe we should test it? What are the advantages? And what are you hoping we can learn from it? So don't just write, oh, get the Seplos BMS. No, also state why you want me to get this. Yeah, and while we are having a look at this parcel here, there are actually more goodies in there. They're packed into this box. Here, for example, 2 of the 16S capacitive active balances. Balance cable. Yeah, here the HELTEC BMS. This is the 12S to 16S active balancer with 5 amps. They're saying 5.5 amps actually here, the current. Well, these are actually the active balancers we have already tested in previous videos here. And we know they are working perfectly fine with these sort of batteries here that keep them really in balance. If you only turn them on at a higher state of charge, 3.45 volts or above, I would recommend, then turn them on, let them balance, and it will be perfectly working. These are ideal actually if you have a DALI BMS already and thinking about upgrading to a JK-BMS. Well, you can keep your DALI BMS and buy one of these balancers here, and it will perfectly work. Yeah, so they have sent me 2 of these ones here, and we probably will do a giveaway of these 2 balancers here at some stage. So stay tuned for a further announcement about this, because I've got my own already here for different configurations, 16S, 8S, 4S. So I really don't need 2 more of these ones here. And I'm very happy to do a giveaway and send them to you wherever you are. Because we now know they would even arrive in India just perfectly fine. Just give it 3 months, but Well, and the last package is actually something very exciting. It's a 4S 10 amp active balancer. And it is a transformer feedback. I don't know what that means. Ooh, 10 amps. Such a small cable here. Well, this is actually already asking for a test, hey? With 10 amps. HELTEC BMS. 4S 10 amp active balancer, maximum current 10 amp, battery type, LiPo, lithium iron phosphate, string 4S. Manual scan here. Ah, this one has some screws here. The negative and 4 battery positives here. It's for a 4S battery. So thank you very much, HELTEC, for sending over this box here with the BMS, the active balancers, and also the 10 amp balancer. And fantastic, they have included these ones here as well, so we can have a nice giveaway sponsored by HELTEC. Okay, enough advertising, right? Okay guys, so far this video from today. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your support here. And until the next video coming out very soon here on the channel, you stay charged and safe. And thanks again for watching. See you then. Bye-bye. Well, I have to clean up this unbox explosion now here.